When it comes to the fantasy genre, the limit is beyond the sky. From animation to big budget franchises, fantasy has never served us when it comes to good fantasy movies. Whatever, they picked up already sensational novel as the foundation of conjured, never before seen plots. Fantasy films have a magical sprinkle of delight in it, no matter the origin. Here are the top 10 best fantasy movies of all time. Number 10, The Wizard of Oz. Starting off with Right Foot, this 1939 classical music was primarily directed by Victor Fleming, who left the production to work on another trouble film. The film is based on the L. Frank Baum 1900 novels The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, starring Judy Garland, Frank Morgan, Ray Bolger, Butler and Jack Haley, Billy Burke and Margaret Hamilton. The film follows Dorothy, who with her dog Toto gets carried away to her house to the mythical kingdom of Oz. As the tornado rips through Kansas, they travel along the yellow brick road in the search of the wizard, encountering a scarecrow in need of brain, a tin man in need of a heart, as well as cowardly lion in a need of a courage. Number 9, The Chronicle of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Barbadook. Co-written and directed by Andrew Adamson, this fantasy midnight is all about sprinkle with extensive action sequences, and the story has its grips on it till now. The film was nothing less than sensation at time it is released, inspired by the C.S. Lewis and novel series. The film cast William Moseley, Anna Poppleway, Skandar Kynes and the Georgia Hanley as the 4 siblings who are evacuated and brought to the countryside during the Blitz. Lucy, her siblings discovered a wardrobe wishlist playing that transport them to the mysterious kingdom of Narnia. Number 8, The Lord of the Ring, The Fellowship of the Ring. When it comes to the major league of the fantasy genre, it is impossible to write off the Lord of the Ring franchises. One of the first major franchises in the genre, this 2001 epic adventure film was directed by Peter Jackson. Extracted from the 1954 the novel The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, the film is the first installation in the trilogy. The film has a star-studded cast including Elijah Wood, John Michaels. The story takes place in the Middle Earth and chronicle the tale of the Dark Lord Sauron quest for the One Ring, which hold a piece of his soul in the order to reclaim his throne. Number 7, Groundhog Day. To switch genre, let's dive into the comedy fantasy lane. Starring big names including Bill Murray, Andy McDowell and Chris Elliott, the film was directed by the Harold Ramis. It employs Stephen Tobolowsky along with the extensive support cast to the Brain Dolin Mary Matrix guarantees. The film revolves around Phil Connors, a sarcastic television weatherman reporter, the yearly grounding day and the events in the Phoenix, Pennsylvania, who gets stuck in the time loop and his life every second and over again. Number 6, Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban, a franchise that has only solely taken over the entire fantasy genre. Harry Potter and his deadly adventures are the one of the two dogs when it comes to the best fantasy finds. A personal favorite, the film was the third addition to the movie series and it was directed by the Alfonso Cuarón, starring with famously popular trio Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint and the Emma Watson. The narrative follows Harry during his third year at the School of the Witchcraft and the wizardly Hogwarts of his search to the truth about his past. Number 5, Pan's Labyrinth, directed by legendary filmmaker Guillermo del Toro. The Spanish-Mexican film trickled into the more of a dark fantasy. The movie is set up in Spain in the summertime in 1944, 5 years well after the Spanish Civil War and during the early Francoist era. This real world is interviewed with a mythic Liam based on the overgrown, deserted labyrinth and the fascinating fawn creatures with the home to the protagonist. Ophelia and her mother relocate to her stepfather's home. Number 4, Coraline. Another animated Coraline is a stop-motion horror production based in the Neil Gaiman novella the same name. Directed by Henry Selick, the film bore the voice of Dakota Fanning, Derry Hatcher, Jennifer Saunders and Dawn Fincher. The film was not only a home run at the box office but is also a hit with the critics and received estimated nomination at the Oscar and the Golden Globe. A curious girl discovers a wildly idealist version of her former house through a hidden entrance in the new resident, but later Caroline was find out there is hides and dangerous secrets. Number 3, Where the Wild Things Are, capture the essence of childhood. This fantasy adventure movie was inspired by 1963 children's books The Music Sandeg. The film is a delight and blend of live action costume, animation and CGIs. Directed by Spike Jonze, the film Max record to the lead characters alongside with voice of James Gandolfini, Paul Dano. The Max is lonely 8 years old kid who travels of an island populated by beings identified as a wild thing, who crown him king throughout the film is did not perform well at the box office. The audience was all about the film. Number 2, The Mummy. Another one from the bag. This highly successful franchise was all the rage at the same time of its release. The first edition of the movie series, The Mummy, was directed by Stephen Sommers. The film is a reboot of the 1932 film by the same name. During an archaeological expedition, the ancient civilization of Manputra, exploring Greek colonial and the Egyptian Avalier, together with a group of the archaeologists, accidentally awaken a malevolent mummy. Number 1, Midnight in Paris. Time to swing into romantic waters. This fantasy masterpiece is a unique storyline and directed by Woody Allen. The film stars a lister including Owen Wilson, Rachel McAdams, Kathy Bates, Aidan Brody. The film takes place in Paris and follows slave right Gil Pender as the force to the address the flaws in the partnership with his superficial fancies and their devouring ambitions, which become progressively dramatized as his journey back in the time every night and at midnight.